I'm in the 2024 Corolla Hybrid base LE trim. It comes in starting around $25,000. If you're lucky, you might be able to get it for a little bit less. We're talking about how good this vehicle is today, and should you be considering it instead of the new excellent Camry LE? Let's get into it. As we get into this video, special thanks to Southeast Toyota and Germain Toyota of Naples for providing this excellent 2024 Corolla LE Hybrid for our review today. Let's start under the hood. This is going to be a very familiar powertrain in some regards. Pretty light hood here. We have a 1.8 liter Toyota hybrid system. This is a 5th gen system. You can get all-wheel drive on these Corolla hybrids. Even this base LE can have all-wheel drive. I want to say it's an extra $1,500 or so. But it doesn't change the horsepower output. If I remember correctly, we only have about 138 horsepower here from this 1.8 liter. And it gets around 50 miles per gallon, but hold the phone on that because we're going to do a test later today. So in a separate video, we're going to do a fuel economy test to see how much this engine can keep up with, this hybrid powertrain can keep up with the new Camry. The new Camry LE, I got 62 miles per gallon on. Check out that miles per gallon video. And the clock is promising here on the Corolla, but we're going to have to do further testing. It is rated at 50 miles per gallon total. Not a lot to talk about here on the exterior on this base model. However, we do have the blue logo here for the Toyota Hybrid. And unlike the Camry LE has like pretty cheap, basic, daytime running lights. These are fairly premium. These are the same headlights you see even something like the GR Corolla. So let me turn on the turn indicator and check that out. Full LED turn signal. It looks premium for such a cheap car, right? Starting around 24.5 after destination, somewhere around there. All right, so let's talk about some of the other features of this vehicle, or lack thereof, because we know LE is going to have some drawbacks. All right, so we have steel wheels here. I believe these are 16s. Let me double check. Yep, 16-inch wheels. And unlike the Camry LE that comes with standard alloy wheels, these look pretty pedestrian. Now you can get the SE model or the XLE model, which I've also reviewed on the channel. Those have nicer wheels, but when you're going for the base trim, you're not going to get the fancy stuff. We also standard don't have smart key access here. That has been driving me crazy. Check this out. Well, I got to take the key out. Let's turn off the car. Yeah, I have to take the key out. We have a key ignition, and we'll talk more about that here in a little bit. But yeah, I mean, so if the key's in your pocket, you walk up to the door and it's locked, it's not going to unlock. You're going to have to do the old school unlock on the fob or use the key to unlock and lock the door. So that's been different for me as I review new cars, and all of them pretty much come fully loaded with that smart key access, which is available here. You can get it in a package, but that's going to drive up the cost. And then also we'll talk about how that, as you add things to this vehicle, starts losing its competitiveness as a vehicle compared to the Camry, for example. So we'll talk more about that as we drive this vehicle today. Nothing too crazy here. We can open up the trunk with a button. Again, blue logo, Hybrid LE. Got that. Now this is not the Beyond Zero logo yet. That will have to change. Maybe with a 2025 model. The 2025 model got an update or two, so we'll talk more about that as well when we get on the inside. Large cargo space here. I wouldn't be surprised if we have a spare tire. Oh, we do not. We have a fix-a-flat kit. I am actually surprised at this. I thought Toyota for the base model will include a spare tire like they do on the Prius base model. That is not the case. That is unfortunate. You can fold down the seats, but it doesn't look like you can do it from back here. You would have to fold them down from the inside, which is also a little bit inconvenient. But again, base model, you're gonna have to make some compromises. Let's get in the back. My kids, I've been taking all three of the girls to school at the same time. You can see there's a lot of legroom. This is set up for me at 6'1". I like this gray interior. It's very, very nice. And good headroom. I have a little light up here. Pretty cheap back seat. Door close sounds nice. Again, this is built in Japan, so the build quality is impeccable. 2 USB-Cs in here. We have one inside there and another one up there. So check out my MagTam cables for some excellent USB-C chargers as well as iPhone chargers. to have stowable, clean looking cables while you're on the go. No vents back here like the Camry LE, but it's a smaller cabin, so it shouldn't be that big of an issue, but that is always a nice feature to have rear facing vents. Yeah, we have a fold down armrest. A lot of vehicles in this price range won't include a fold down armrest, so I appreciate that. These cloth seats are very, very comfy. And you can see just how much space there is. Since no one's been sitting in the seat, been able to maximize the leg space and backpack space for the kiddos. So let's go ahead and get out of this pretty basic back seat, but a very comfortable one. And let's give you a tour of this most basic Corolla LE Hybrid. Now you can get it in a non-hybrid for a few grand less, but this hybrid is really where it's at. Door slam sounds good. It is cheap materials here. At least I have a fabric armrest. Even though it's a base car, we have things that are pretty nice in here. So you're gonna have, you know, electronic mirror control. Blind spot monitor is not standard like it is on the Camry, so you're gonna have to pay more in a special package for that, which is also unfortunate. You can get a leather wrapped steering wheel. Again, that's gonna drive up the cost. And the Camry LE, its strength is its low price. Now keep in mind, your distributor can add items to here, which drives up the price. So 1,135 bucks for clear paint protection, Toyota Guard. They're just included in the price. So keep that in mind. Also, the local dealer, Germain Toyota of Naples, I thank so much for not only Southeast Toyota, but also Germain Toyota of Naples for helping me out with this vehicle. You gotta keep in mind, dealers have the power and the free will and the rights to sell cars with pre-installed options as well. All right, so we have window tint on here, which it's very mild window tint. I would want it actually a little bit darker, but at 249 bucks, I think that's actually a pretty good deal. And ceramic paint protection for 800 bucks. I'm not an expert on that. That doesn't sound like a bad deal either. But again, when you start adding things to the base Corolla LE, and you can see these add-ons, I've got it up to $27,000. This car is not, it's a terrible buy at 27K in my opinion. Go ahead and get a base Camry LE for 30K and be happy. But I'm going to review this car as a $25,000 car because, you know, after destination, that's kind of where this vehicle is priced at. All right, a little bit under $25,000. So I can't just push button start. There's no button over here for push button start. So we have to do the switch key, flip that out, and foot on the brake, and that turns the car on. It's really weird. Let's turn the turn indicator off. It's really weird because when you turn the key in an ignition in a normal car, not a hybrid, the engine will fire up. Well, it's a hybrid, so the engine doesn't turn on unless it needs to. Let's talk about this MID here. We actually have a physical tachometer. Talk more about that when we start driving it. This small inch screen gives me actually a small 4-inch screen, I believe is what it is. Gives me pretty much all the information I need. There's my fuel economy. Yes, it says I'm getting about 61 miles per gallon. So stay tuned for my actual fill up when I test it after driving it a little bit more. I put 100 miles on it, as you guys see so far. Here's my energy monitor, or should I say my throttle and regen. EV driving ratio, talk more about that later. Digital speedometer if you want it. Obviously your analog speedometer. And then you also have your battery gauge over here, energy monitor, as well as a trip. I do have Android Auto up on this small, I believe this is an 8-inch screen. Now for 2025, you're able to get a 10.5-inch screen, not on the base Corolla, Corolla LE Hybrid, but on the SE models, I think, and maybe the XLE, you'll get a bigger, massive 10-inch screen here. And I'm gonna turn on the AC. AC in here is very, very cold, so I appreciate that. You do have wireless Android Auto, wireless Apple CarPlay. You can also do it wired as well. Again, check out my MagTim cables below and use my promo code to get a nice little discount there. Sound system in here is actually really decent for a base car. Don't feel like you need to get the JBL and the XLE, for example, or I think you can get the JBL as well in the SE model with a package or something. But yeah, the base sound, since the sound system in here is super loud, it just doesn't sound the greatest. But for a base model, I'm happy with it. Climate control, super simple to use, and simple is good. Simple is, and it's close to steering, it's functional. We have a lot of condensation in Florida due to the humidity. We have a lot of rain. And the base model's windshield wipers doesn't have the variable toggle when you do intermittent. So you really just have 3 speeds on your windshield wipers. A very low speed intermittent, which is not customizable. You have a low and a high. Okay, there's high, there's low. You also have auto high beams. You have radar cruise control. You have lane keep assist. That all works really, really nicely. You're not gonna have an auto dimming rearview mirror. You might be able to get that in a package, as well as exterior heated mirrors. They are not heated here unless you get that optional package as well, which is kind of it's been tough with the condensation here. So sometimes I have to wipe the side windows down, but depending on where you live, that might not be that big of a deal. Traditional shifter here, it's not leather wrapped. It feels kind of cheap like the steering wheel, but what do you expect? Just a couple driving modes here, eco and normal. All right, I've been driving in eco. I'll talk more about why later. At least we have a leather wrap shift boot. Auto brake hold is a nice feature. Pretty cheap, basic cup holders, a USB-C and a 12-volt accessory power port in here. These seats are actually more comfortable than the base Camry LEs. It's much more comfortable for me, my upper back. The Camry LE, even in the cloth seats, especially in the leather seats, it pushes you forward in this area and it just feels uncomfortable. These seats are a lot more comfortable than the brand new Camry, so I appreciate that. Everything else in here, it's pretty basic, cheap materials. This is soft touch, and this drives me crazy. Even the GR Corolla has plastic right here, but it's all soft touch. But that's about it. It's a pretty basic car, so let's go ahead and start driving the Corolla Hybrid. Put it into reverse, pretty basic backup camera. I have nothing bad to say about it. No parking sensors or anything fancy on here. Now, on parking lot speeds and speeds under 23 miles an hour, you have a super noticeable and annoying and overbearing Toyota, like, piped in fake engine noise. Legally, they're required to do it, but it doesn't have to be this loud. And in fact, on the new Camry, you barely even notice it. Here, it takes away from the experience at low speeds. Some people say, like, hey, it's just a little speaker, you can disable that if you own the car, if it really annoys you. And that's something I would be very interested in learning about, because it does annoy me quite heavily, because otherwise it'd be dead silent. All right, super, super quiet. All right, I'm sure that's probably illegal to disable it, but just, yeah, just keep that in mind. Above 23 miles an hour, it's actually pretty quiet. Sun visor here, we have no light. So I don't know the last time I saw a lightless sun visor for the vanity portion of it. But yeah, the Corolla here, the ride quality on this model with these small 16-inch wheels, it's fantastic. I wouldn't say quite as good as the base Camrys ride quality, because the wheelbase is shorter here, so it's just slightly more bumpy, but it is a very floaty, very luxurious ride quality here. It's not sporty at all. Is it fun to throw in the turns? It actually still is, because this vehicle is very light, especially in this front wheel drive based model. I wouldn't say it's quite as stable feeling as the Camry through the turns, but for Toyota, yeah, this is not about driver engagement. This is about having an amazing everyday vehicle that provides comfort and efficiency at a low price. Also something that the Camry and Toyota could fix this with an over-the-air update. The Camry got rid of the energy flow monitor, and as a hybrid junkie, doesn't make any sense to me. It makes me very, very upset, because then you're flipping through the center screen to see what your battery charge is all the time, or what the systems are doing in the background. I like having this energy flow, or you could call it what they call it, something else even on this screen. What do they call it here? Energy monitor on this screen. They call it energy flow here. It's the exact same thing. I don't know why Toyota has different names for it, but yes, unfortunately, it's not on the Camry. And fortunately, on this cheaper car, it's baked in. So I'll just leave this up for you guys so you can see what's going on. So 138 horsepower, somewhere on there, pedal down. That's great. Why is it great? Well, you have no transmission or traditional transmission for it to pick a gear. You get initial electric shove, it's not much, and then the engine, this 1.8 liter chips in, and it's pretty peppy up to about 60 miles an hour. I don't know if I have my drag meter on me. If I do, maybe we could do a 0 to 60 real quick. No, I don't have it, unfortunately, but it is going to be slightly faster than the XLE model. So that got 0 to 60, I want to say under 9 seconds, which is pretty darn fast for a Corolla Hybrid that's focused on efficiency. All right. Road noise. It's okay. It's not worst in segment or best in segment. Wind noise, I would say the same. And in our fuel efficiency test, I'll go on the interstate. This test, I'm not doing it. This is more of like a general impressions. But for highway driving, fuel efficiency, stay tuned for that next video where I also talk about NVH. Like listening to this Lincoln, yeah, it's pretty loud. It might even be louder than the base Camry LE with wind noise through the windows. I'm not saying wind noise because I don't get any wind buffeting, at least under 60 miles an hour. But like in terms of cars going by you, loud trucks, you're going to notice it. But I'm trying to remember, I don't even think the XLE Corolla has dual pane windows or anything like that. So I think it's perfectly fine. And in fact, the engine is so quiet in here. Like I'm in fully electric right now, going about 43 miles an hour. It's such a quiet experience overall that I can live with a little bit of tire and road noise from vehicles outside of the car. You can get a sunroof in this model. Again, that's going to add cost. And I guess I can probably segue into the value of the Corolla Hybrid LE. I think it's an incredible value, incredible buy, a really strong buy at $25K or less. Anything more than that, if you start adding options to this, like you're getting, oh, that's a dead armadillo. It's a dead value proposition like that armadillo back there. Because the Camry LE is a better car, objectively and subjectively. Unless you need a smaller car, you live in a city and you don't want a bigger car, I get it. Or if you have a smaller garage and you don't want something as big as the Camry in there, I get it. But the Camry gives you almost an extra 100 horsepower. It gives you, I'm going to go out on a limb, it's a little early because I haven't filled this car back up, equal if not better fuel economy, while giving you 100 extra horsepower, while giving you a more quiet experience overall, especially at lower speeds, since this synthetic noise enters the cabin. Especially in reverse, it's even louder. But yeah, Camry LE, better vehicle overall. You also get a intermittent wipers on there. You get the larger screen as well. So yes, if you're spending over 25K on a Corolla Hybrid, the Camry base model is a way better buy. The base sound system on that Camry LE is fantastic as well. You can get a sunroof on it. You can get a heated steering wheel with leather wrapped. You get heated seats on that Camry LE too, and that bumps the price up to around 30 to 31,000 or so. Once you get into the upper 20s for the Corolla Hybrid, it's just not worth it in my opinion. Is it a bad car? No. But the Camry exists, and the Camry is one of the absolute best buys out in the market, regardless of vehicle type. It is incredible. Watch my videos on it. So again, under 25K, I'll say it over and over because it just makes the most sense. Under 25K for a base Corolla Hybrid, if there are some options on there like smart key access mixed with the blind spot monitor, I think it's around $1,500 for that package. That's the only exception I can make. That's going to get the vehicle closer to maybe 26, 27K, assuming there are no add-ons from the dealer, assuming there are no add-ons from the distributor. I forgot to mention that the brakes here, they take a little bit getting used to. They're very spongy. They're better than my 2012 Prius brakes, no doubt, but they're not nearly as rewarding and predictable as the new Camry's brake feel. And a part of that is that this vehicle is engineered and designed in Japan, And the Camry is engineered, I don't know about design, but and I think it is designed actually in North America. And so the brake feel between the two vehicles are very different philosophies. The Camry feels more like a sports car. It's much, you got a lot more feedback. This is a much softer, spongier pedal. I feel like that is designed to give you a little bit more of that regen feel through the brake pedal. I don't like it because I almost like ran into my Prius in my driveway because the brake feel here is not what I was expecting. All right, so it's kind of that old school Toyota brake feel where the initial 25-30% is, it feels like it's the regen brakes. It's not very strong, and then you get into the friction brakes or so, and it you know, it's a little bit more predictable at that point. But it's not like the Camry's brake pedal that is so predictable, very seamless. It's not a perfect brake feel, but it's so much better than what we have here, so keep that in mind. After I've been driving this for a week, it hasn't even dawned on me about the brakes because I'm used to it. You acclimate to it, but I still much prefer the Camry's brake feel on the new 2025 model. My dealer, Germain Toyota Naples, again, thanks to them for giving me this for a sample vehicle to test out. There are discounts going on under the MSRP or the Toyota suggested price as well. So keep out, the discounts are coming, guys, as we get further into this year. And investing your money into a Toyota hybrid is one of, for a vehicle purchase anyways, it's just one of the smartest buys. They're pretty much bulletproof. Toyota understresses the batteries on these things. I have a 2012 Prius that the battery still works great on. And that's an older technology, the older nickel metal hydride technology. This has lithium ion here on this 5th gen hybrid, and it is super smooth, super efficient, very quiet, powerful. For a Corolla, it's powerful, and it's just an amazing everyday car. I'd give it a solid B, where the Camry the Camry LE is like a solid A plus from a value and overall package. I wish this vehicle, the base Corolla LE, was closer to $20,000. Then it would have some of that insane value that I feel like the Camry base LE gives you. The Corolla LE, it's a good value under 25K, but it is still, I feel like it's still too closely priced to the excellent Camry for it to be just a no-brainer, no hesitation buy like the Camry is. So thank you guys for watching. Again, stay tuned for my fuel economy tests. Again, I'm going 45 miles an hour. I wasn't fully electric until I put my foot into it a little bit. So this 5th gen hybrid is very efficient. I can't wait to see you guys back in the next video where I go over fuel economy when I fill this car back up, and theoretical range as well, with the sort of fuel economy I'm going to see here, which is just, I'm excited, very excited. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in the comments about the base Corolla LE hybrid and its value. How much would you be willing to pay for a brand new one? And since these are priced fairly close to the Camry LE, let me know between the two, Corolla LE hybrid versus Camry LE hybrid, would you be spending an extra 5K or 4 to 5K to get your feet into a much better vehicle? I'll see you guys down below. Thank you for watching. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.